pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome to Monday morning's meeting. So, has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda?
Yeah,
All right. Can I ask for a motion to approve the agenda?
so moved.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. All right. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from September 23?
Yep. Motion approved.
First, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approve employee claims filed with the county auditor in the amount of $1,263.17.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approve the hiring of Ashley Hackett at Human Resource Senior Generalist, effective October 1st, 2024 at $26 per hour.
Made motion to approve that hiring.
Second.
First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approve the resignation of Doug Durr, part-time seasonal roadside department effective September 26th of 2024.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Approve liquor license at Dollingen Corp.
It was a
LLC.
Dollar General up in Fairbank or
Okay.
outside of Fairbank. It's in the county.
Okay.
Chris, I have a question on the paperwork that you put in our packet and stuff down here for insurance company information. There's nothing been filled in down there whatsoever.
I'd have to go back in and look. The state sent it to me and said it's ready for approval.
Okay, so they said it's good, so.
Yeah, that's the only way I print them is when they send it to me that it's, because they give it to me when it's submitted. And it says submitted pending dram shop, and then they turn around and send it to me again when it needs to be submitted to the local authority. So that's what I did. I can double check it when I sign back in before I give it the final approval.
Yeah, just to make sure that, they've got policies in effect.
Yeah, they would have to have their dram shop. Yes.
I'll make a motion and, let's do that.
Second.
Yeah, first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, items for discussion. Please file the following manure management plans. Buckwash 3, Washington Township, Section 3.
Make a motion to place it on file.
Second.
And second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Motion carries. We have a 9:15 public hearing for the Blooming zoning request. Maybe we can go forward with the basement sometime.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's been kind of a back and forth issue. They're on the same page as with the contractor foundations recovery on the sump pump system down there and the work that had to be done down there as far as plumbing and everything. I had the representative come in and last week and meet with me. I spent about an hour with him regoing over all this. They ran into some difficulty down there with doing the trenching down there in the lower level electricity distribution area down there because of some large metal angle iron that was concreted in down there in that area and stuff. So their people was unable to do the trenching because of that, and to get that full iron out, we don't know what that would entail to accomplish that. And that's something that wasn't known until we started breaking out concrete. That was buried in the concrete, and then when we started busting out, we discovered that. That was something missed by me and them. So I had him come back in and rehash everything over again. Pretty much everything stays the same, but I feel down there, we do have a small trench, that I think is gonna take care of that water in the fall of the floor and everything. It will lead it back to the sump pump area anyway that we're gonna be redoing. So, because of that, they're gonna, where the concrete's been broke out, they're gonna go back and repair that, fix it back up, fill it back in. And, so he came back with another proposal, and I think you all have that. The price has been reduced. And there was questions about who's gonna do the plumbing, final hookup on the plumbing and stuff. So with the price reduction from Foundations Recovery, And then I had Precision come in and quote for doing the plumbing work. So basically, we're back within under $200 where we were with the original cost to do the whole project. So
Is it $200 more or less?
$200 more.
Nope. They sharpen their pens.
Well, I'm gonna turn it over to you and let you deal with it, because I've met with them, made many phone calls, I met with them, this is best I can, and that's why I spent so long with them Friday hashing this over, so. I think this is their bottom thing that they're gonna do, so.
Like the room that they were having the trenching problem, is that the room on the south?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think it does have enough slope for the problem to get there.
Yeah, and the water down there is gonna get to that spot anyway, so, I mean, this is something that. I mean, when you get in projects like this, I mean, there's some things that aren't foreseen that you just run into.
Yeah.
It's not their fault, it's not our fault, I mean, it was very good time.
Are they gonna mix up a bag of cement then and?
Yeah, they'll bring concrete in when they're putting some new pits in, they'll be bringing the concrete in and at the same time they're doing all that. And it's a small area, it's not a very big area.
I'd make a motion to proceed with the basement sump project.
And then have Precision do the plumbing,
Exactly.
I'll second that.
All right, I have why didn't they have plumbing added into this to begin with?
I
I
think,
mean, you're hooking up a sump pump, don't you think you're gonna need a plumber?
I think what they run into probably so many areas, because they travel all over in different towns, cities, and stuff like that, and they probably run into different regulations on who actually can do the plumbing, and if I could see where maybe they, like say if Independence required a license to do plumbing. Well, then they'd have to go through all the whole process of getting licensed so they can do the plumbing work. What they're doing for work doesn't require license, the sump pumping and trenching and stuff like that. But the plumbing does, so I think that's where they run into trouble, because they work in so many different towns and cities and counties and out of state, and everybody's got different requirements on the plumbing.
All right, I got a first and a second. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Oh, don't only have 7 minutes. How about let's go forward with Greg Bragg?
All right, well, that's great.
Guys, here to sell rag brag?
Yeah. Am I talking? You're
You
talking?
can start if you'd like.
Oh. Well, once again, just like we did last year, we're asking for permission to put in an application for RAGBRAI for 2025. If you're familiar with the process, it's we, as a community county, apply for it, and then we won't know until around the first of the year if we get it or not.
Right.
The first time we got it in 2007, we applied for it 14 years in a row. And then the next time we really, in 2007, they told us they'd be back in 5 or 6 years, and they were back in 7 years and 14. So it's been quite a few years. We got a couple ladies here that are willing to chair it. I'm not going to chair it again, but I will assist. And, but basically it's permission. I know countywide, we have some roads that are gonna go on that they've been on before that they won't be able to because of road construction. But they, as a committee, RAGBRAI is really good at working around and through that. So at this point, we're just applying for it.
Okay.
And would like the support of the county.
I guess the only concern I have is it's in the middle of an existing budget. And we haven't budgeted for that.
It would be.
Well, I guess it would be
It'd
after
be
the new budget. So we'd have to,
So you have time to put that in.
Yeah, it's usually the end of July that this happens.
Yeah.
it's a significant expense for the sheriff's department. It's the,
And then if certain roads are used, then secondary roads has got to make sure if they're gonna bust up or something to get out there and patch the roads or whatever they need to do, so it's kind of.
Normally it works pretty good. It just switches their priority to them roads for that year. And they mow it more often that year.
And as we
because
know,
when
we got residents that don't agree with all the priorities.
I did take a look at the 2014 budget and for deputies and 2014, they paid out 60 hours of overtime for deputies and additional correctional staff 20 hours. That did not say overtime. So, and then there was additional 40 off-duty officers that they brought in. I think that was, as law enforcement as a whole, I don't know if that's what they typically do, but that's what it said here, so.
I don't know for sure, but does the highway patrol actually assign some of the staff that follows them around to this day?
Highway patrol will travel the state with the same staff. And then in different zones, they bring in extra of their own people from that zone. But there is a push crew, from the state patrol that follows right. And they do a really good job of policing it, but they obviously need local support, local, assistance. The state patrol does all the state highway intersection. And the county normally does what the county intersection does. As far as policing that area.
And if this does happen in our county and stuff like that, one of the first things that would need to be a priority when that route's selected and stuff, and I don't know, maybe they'd be contacting to find out what roads, like, we're gonna have a road probably being worked on going to Kowalski Diamond next year, for example. Make sure, and then Brian's gotta know well ahead of time, so he can get his staff scheduled to go out there and do any patching or any work need to be done.
And Brian has worked with them both times they were here last, and they'll go across the county. Actually, they went across the county a couple times when they never stopped here. But they'll go across with Brian, they'll sit down and have a meeting and discuss favorable roads and what makes sense for everybody.
Yeah, we can say W35 and D22 will both be out.
Now, do they give us some funds? As far as they give the committee some funds, yep, they do. This year they've committed to giving the pass-through towns, if we are a pass-through town, which I would doubt that we were a pass-through town, is $5,000. If you're a meeting town, you get $10,000, and if you are an overnight town, you get $50,000 of seed money to start.
That's different from, this is the first time they've done
No,
that.
they did do that last year. They
Right.
did do it last year, but it wasn't something that they put out in their actual application. I knew that only because I talked with Matt Pippin in great detail last year before we met with anybody, and he said, I think we're doing $50,000. This year they have it right in their application. So we'll have $50,000 of seed money to start with. And then we have $5,000 in the Trails Association. They have $5,000 seed money that they kept from years prior.
I know the sheriff has joined us and I'm sure he has some input on the rag proposal.
My biggest thing is the support as far as obviously overtime budget on something like that, that does. And I think there's some matching funds for some of that through Frank Bride at times, but most time that's after the fact and goes into a revenue portion.
I did say in 2014, I think before you came in their budget, the committee's budget, it's a deputy overtime at 60 hours. So they budgeted for that, correctional staff, and then additional officers that came in also. So,
And last time with the profit at the end of it, we kept $5,000 seed money But the rest of it all went back to whoever signed up. So the churches and the Boy Scouts and all the nonprofits that had booths that participated, that's where all the money went back to. So at that point, I mean, a lot of them that might have made $400 in a day got $700 afterwards because that's how we divided it up.
And I talked to Rick about it, as chair of that Emergency Management Commission, and he went ahead and he's fine supporting it.
Yeah, we got his letter like 2 hours after we talked, so
Yeah.
of support, so yeah, yeah. We had one from Griffin, also she sent us one.
So, I mean, we'll do what we have to do if it's funds.
And that's,
When do they approve this route or?
They normally, they never announce it until the announcement party, which is like the last week of January,
Saturday.
but we'll know before the first year. They'll come in, lay a packet on your desk and say, this doesn't mean anything, to start getting ready, because they really don't want anybody to know. Yeah, but you'll know for budget, yeah.
I think this group is here for, you're asking for us to go ahead and renew our support letter for this coming year. Okay, I'll make a motion for that because we're on the public hearing time.
I'll second that.
And you did the letter last year, so I'm assuming you still have that.
So we just have to change the date on it, you know.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
All right.
Motion carries.
Did you want a letter of support from secondary roads also?
Please, that would be great. We're under a time crunch, Brian, we have to turn in the application by 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Well, assuming the board wants me to put one
Please.
together.
Yep, that would be good.
We'll work with that.
There you go.
Any one of us. you know.
So we have 9:15, public hearing for the zoning request.
So this is located south on 100th Street there in Line. There were 5 neighbors adjoining or adjacent that were notified of this rezoning, in August. And then the east side of the property that's kind of grayed out was, rezoned in 2022 for their expansion at that time. The average traffic daily count is 100 vehicles per day. And this was rezoned to manufacturing for the commercial extraction use that is going to take place. They will have to obtain Board of Adjustment approval. And so this is based off of the setbacks that will have to be met per our zoning ordinance. So in the north there, is Gail Hunter. She has signed an agreement to allow them to be within 150 feet for a setback. Per our zoning ordinance, it actually should be 400. So with her authorization, letting them be closer, they can be up to 150. Same with, you can tell there on the west side, there's some buildings. Same case there. He has also signed the authorization to allow them to be within 150 feet instead of the 400-foot setback. And then for the ag land then to the west and to the south will also be 150 feet for the setback. So when I did that, that gave them roughly about 9 to 10 acres extra that they can utilize then for their extractions. During the P&Z meeting, that north portion there, that kind of small rectangle area, we were informed that they're actually not going to use. So they're just going to basically remain in that square area, which will still allow them additional expansion.
Is that close to that Corgi Rescue?
It is,
Property,
yeah.
yeah.
So it is, the property owner to the west
Right.
is that one for sure. So,
And that gentleman did stop in my office the other day and ask about this.
okay,
And I told him to come down and talk to you.
okay.
And he basically said, well, I really didn't read the letter, but I assumed it was Bruning expansion. Yeah. And I said, yes, it is. And he goes, okay, that's all I needed.
Oh,
thank
for the reduction in setback agreements that are made, that'll all be on file at the recorder's office?
It's just a notarized agreement that Burning Rocks have and that we have, so it will be in our files. I'm not sure that the auditor's office usually has those on file.
We do not.
Well, I just wondered, what kind of confusion does take place when, say, a property transfer of ownership to the property, Is this something that probably should show up in the abstract or something someplace that
Let me see.
people know that they're buying some property that this authorized this instead of later find out I'm complaining it wasn't 400 foot?
So currently, the way that their agreement reads, it would not show up in an abstract.
Probably need to get that on file for the recorder's office.
Well, if
When,
Bruning owns the property, I don't think the setback, what the neighbor does for the setbacks, as long as it's still Bruning property, it shouldn't have to be on their abstract.
Yeah, but the next.
But the
person-
property owner agreed to it.
Then that should be, if the property owner that agreed to it, if they end up selling that property, then that needs to be identified if Joe Blow is buying it.
Yeah.
If that's not up to Bruning, that's up to that property owner that it made that agreement.
I guess I'm not seeing what the difficulty to have it recorded in the recorder's office when there's a search done on properties.
But would that be Bruning's responsibility or the person that agreed to the setback? I mean, it's not the county's responsibility because it's not their, what do I want to say? You're not approving a request from that property owner. I don't even remember what you said those owners were.
yep, Gail and Brett
Okay,
would be
yeah.
the two owners currently.
I'm just thinking that down the road, this could save some problem 5, 10 years, 10 years from now, there was a recording done, but whose responsibility it is to have that done, I don't know, and I don't know what it costs to have that recording done.
$25. Unless the county does it, then it's no charge.
No, if they'll charge the county, then I say we should do it.
Can we, this is going to the county attorney, can we legally record that agreement on someone else's property? So this Gail agreed to this setback with Bruning. Does the county are they allowed to record something on someone else's property?
Question. I'll get back to you.
prepared for
Yes, probably not, but
I don't know.
weird laws and rules apply all the time, so.
Can we reach out to those two individuals and say we would like to have this recorded, just so that, because that setback should run with the land.
Well, I think it'd be in best interest of Bruni, then they could, if some question in the future, they could say, this has been recorded, here it is. This was okay with the previous landowner.
And have Bernie do it?
I think we gotta just probably clear, we
I'm
gotta.
here.
I was gonna, yeah.
And if it's something that's needs to be recorded, by us, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Well, don't you feel this would be beneficial to you in the future if anything ever rises on it?
Well, the guy that was our legal department that was supposed to be here this morning, I just got a call. And he kind of slipped up and forgot about it, but I'll make sure that it's taken care of.
I can see where
The old man in the outfit.
if it changed property owner, they could insist on having that 400-foot setback again, and that would really impede your operation to go from 150 to 400.
What's that?
The setback, if
Yeah.
they insist on going back.
With Gail, I've done all from the very beginning.
Okay.
The whole operation down there in the field work and stuff and that, and the setback from the berm and the trees and then that one portion, that little finger that goes up in there, we're not gonna ever quarry in there at all. To the west of Gales and to the east of her neighbor there, Brent Butler. So, maintaining a 150-foot setback and those areas will be bermed just like her property and that. So, and of course, we
we just got done with the second Odyssey on the road. About a week ago, we had done one 2 years ago and just finished, not more than 2 weeks for sure. And of course, we have donated all the materials for the road from 150 to the quarry on 10th. So, anyway, I guess, from a old school explanation, and my partner didn't make it here this morning, I guess, any other questions, I'd be glad to ask them if they don't get too difficult.
That was pretty much all I had, just, I touched on the setbacks.
So no, you've never had any, the neighbors, you haven't got any letters of complaints that this is gonna happen or anything, or?
Correct, nothing. And then even when, I mean, they're just now starting to expand there on the east side, but never taken any phone calls from Gail, any concerns, complaints, nothing. So,
And the people that live across the road was complaining about the dogs. Nothing.
so they were not notified because it is Fayette County.
Yeah.
Yep,
That, you know, they're within the perimeter, but they're in different counties.
They are,
It's
so
just
it's-
hard for me to.
No, that's,
yeah.
so, anybody else have anything on this? Or then we didn't in the public.
That we have something from secondary roads.
Yeah, you would comment about donating materials, but I still get a bill for the Odyssey.
Yeah. You get a bill for the oil and
Yeah.
stuff, but not
Yeah.
for the, we supplied all the
Aggregate.
the aggregate, yeah.
And that 12 inches of macadam in there gave a good base for the,
Absolutely. I pushed hard for that. Cause it's, the road's no better than what's underneath it, and that road held up really, really well from the first Odyssey, and it's, it'll be there for a long time.
And
Okay, have nothing else.
nothing else?
Nothing else from
Make
the
a
public?
motion to close the public hearing.
We have something from public.
It's not, like, I didn't get it on the agenda in time, but I had something come up with the Too Good for Drugs for the opioid settlements. I don't know if you want me to bring that up or if I can wait till Monday. It's,
You need a decision.
I just had
We
something
need
come
to
up with
finish
the
this public
school.
We need to finish the public hearing first.
Okay, that's,
Made a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, first and second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Motion carries, public hearing is closed. Do I have a decision on the grading zoning request?
I would make a motion to grant the request.
I'll second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, public-
Good to go.
Thank you.
All right, basement sump pumps.
That's-
Okay, go down here. Brian, we're up to you. For the B-22 overlay and Old Iron Bridge rehabilitation.
good morning.
I'd like to mention that we have a lot of stuff on our slate after you, Brian, so.
I'll make it fast.
Make it fast as you could.
All right, D-22, what I'd like is authorize the engineer to sign all necessary paperwork, and I'm not just sure exactly how this is gonna work because it's tied with Delaware County. But the prices came in very well. So our Division 1, which is in the Buchanan County, it was 945,000 for my 2.25 miles.
So is that how much less than we originally paid?
About 6,500, yeah, probably even I bounced it up to about 1.1 million. So I'm still significantly under 100,000 type of
We're
affair.
not under enough for those.
What we could do in the future, Don, I can't make that kind of a contract change order.
Mhm.
But I could go after safety funds in the future, and maybe they fund me 50-50, come back in on future date, but it was excellent prices. Taylor,
Delaware County's not doing. the
no,
white show.
no, they're not doing the white shoulders. And, yeah, but I don't mind trying to come back in and work it as a safety project in the future.
Right. I said the letter folder.
I do, they save lives. And I'm a very, very strong believer in it. Taylor's Ford Bridge was a whole different situation.
So do you need approval for anything on
Yes, I would,
this
I,
D40 or D22?
yes, I would need,
Finish that first.
thank you, appreciate that. Need a motion to authorize the engineer to sign any necessary paperwork to approve this project.
I
Move
make
forward.
that motion.
Second,
First and second, all in favor?
all right,
Aye. Motion carries for you to sign all the necessary paperwork.
Taylor's Ford Bridge is a whole different situation. We really need to reject that. Those prices came in the millions. The 1,995,906 from Taylor Construction. And Kramer was 3 million and PCI is 3.3 million. And
And what was the total grant money that we were supposed to get dollars?
280,000 plus 40,000. So it's about,
Way short.
yes. Materials for it, when I got prices on materials just 2 years ago, was about 60,000 for the plank. If I could work, first I need to visit with Alex because the caissons, if we do nothing, the bridge will go down eventually. And Alex didn't like the idea of having grout scouts pump up full of cement grout. But maybe when you start looking at options, that becomes a viable answer. That's not very expensive for me to do that kind of work. And then if part of what brings us to a head, yes, they were talking, when I talked a couple years ago, $500 would fix each one of the rust joints up there. I've got some cross bracing that needs replaced because it's completely gone in the truss. And if I could work with someone like a Zezer Construction, if I do nothing, we're gonna have planks continue to fall off there, and we've got the canoers underneath. So we've got a huge liability issue in there if we do nothing.
But we have other options and
You just kind of push all the federal funds aside where I don't get all the rules and guidelines in there and try and make somewhere we're gonna have to do something. But at this point, we need to reject the bids because there's nowhere I can pull 2 million out of our budget.
so we got a motion to reject the bids then?
Yes,
I
please.
think if we, this, thing about the planking, I think we need to work that in because if we're talking on liability issues, we gotta figure out getting that
Yeah,
liability issue go away.
but I better make the caisson strong enough before I do that. And that's where, like I said, we need to look in more detail. I'm sure the past couple of years of research, there's undoubtedly some possible solutions developing.
I'd make a motion to reject the bid and look for other alternatives.
I'll second.
Thank you.
First and second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Did I need to stick around for anything for any further?
I don't believe so.
No.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Hey, I left a little early. I left about 3:20 in the morning. We hit the road and drove through some of the hurricane, but got out while the roads were still open.
Good.
I need to forget.
Okay.
Thank you, and you have a great morning.
Thank you.
Do you want to go ahead,
We,
have the public comments before we do the two closed sessions?
Griffin is something I wanted to bring up too.
I would say get the public comments, so we got.
Stick around for public comments.
Griffin?
Is it okay if I go ahead?
Yep.
Well, Chris, what you're asking here, maybe.
I'll just, I'm gonna. So previously, we had, you approved the two goods for drugs in the schools. So Independence started that the second or third week of school. So Independence second graders are getting that curriculum. East Buchanan is starting mid-November. And with Jessup, they have it scheduled for mid-October to start the 14th. The way the counselor was able to schedule the classes was to have all the second graders together. So there will be 60 of them. They will have Melissa, who's from Pathway, she will be teaching. They will have the second grade teachers and the school counselor. And then there's probably some aides in there that will assist as well. Teaching all 60 students together is not to fidelity of the curriculum. So that just means it's not how it's supposed to be presented, that they really suggest that 30. So, just was discussing with Vicky from Pathways and Teresa from Pathways. Just wanting to let you all know, I don't even, is that okay if Jessup does it all together? So either Jessup does it all together this year, or we wait in next year and try to figure out scheduling.
Does that change the dollar amount?
It does not change the dollar amount. Actually, it'll probably make it less expensive because Melissa will be going there for one instead of, 3 times. So I think there's either 2 or 3 sections of
I
second.
guess I don't know if it's, there don't seem to be a major change here just about their class size and stuff like that. We've basically approved this funding already for this, so
Yes,
it really doesn't, I don't see anything that we need to vote on because it's really moving forward just with class size, and we didn't discuss the class sizes anyway to
right.
release the funding for that.
Well, and you can't vote on it because it's not on the
Right.
agenda.
Right,
Right.
and it was just more of, I wanted to let you all know that per the program, the Mendez Foundation who created the program, that is just not how they would prefer to see it done. But I mean, it's either they get it like this or they don't. The curriculum is really interactive. And so I think it will be helpful that there will be a lot of help in the room as well.
Right.
And then Melissa, we bought one curriculum kit. Pathways has another, they have 2 more curriculum kits. So Melissa can have additional, there's just posters and other things. So she'll just bring up from Pathways so to utilize. So I mean, it's either try it this year if it doesn't work out. I know the counselor was really trying to get the scheduling figured out, but it's just hard. Melissa's teaching everywhere, so.
Guess you'll have to do it for 60 instead of 30.
Yeah, so, and she's fine with it. It's just, Vicky and Teresa from Pathways both just wanted me to let you all know that that's how it was gonna be done at Jessup.
That's fine.
Okay, sounds
All right,
good. Thank
thank you.
you.
Thanks.
Any other public comment?
Yesterday, I made a complaint, actually a very public complaint, stating that Rick Wolfall of the Emergency Management, it's okay if I continue?
Go ahead.
Yep. Used public resources, including potentially computers and cameras, for his political campaigns, 2 campaigns, by the way. So I guess my question is, first statement is to make sure that you folks are aware that I have made this accusation. And second, to see if there has been any investigation into him using public funds, public cell phones, computers, cameras, vehicles, trailers, or personnel.
I guess I'm not sure where you got that he's using all of this stuff for his campaign.
Sure, there is a video. I'm pretty sure you've seen this video actually that describes Rick Wolfall, emergency management, in his campaign video.
He's allowed to put what his title is.
In his
Yeah, but
campaign video
If you have a problem with him putting his title in, you put your title in.
from
So
public
what's the
equipment,
difference?
emergency equipment. So if he's using public funds, public equipment as emergency equipment, that is my question.
I would suggest you, if you have a problem or have these concerns, that it needs to go to the ethics committee for
Yeah,
investigation.
Thank you. And I guess.
Because there's nothing that the board of supervisors can do it until they get direction from the ethics committee.
Correct, and my question, of course, was, have we already done an investigation to this effect?
No,
No,
Okay, thank you.
first it's been brought up.
no. Yeah, and I agree
guess
with
I-
Chris. I would go ahead and
Then-
contact the ethics board down there. I mean, and when I was campaigning, running, if I had questions about anything, they were really good at responding back to stuff because they know it's something they need to address right away because it's something that's happening now, you know.
Yes, sir, thank you.
I would further state, instead of trying to belittle somebody else, why don't you tell everybody what you're gonna do? And I'm tired of the stuff you put out there on Facebook against the supervisors and against the current board. I'm also tired of that. So if you're gonna go ahead and go public, let's go public.
Okay. Is there any topic in specific you're looking for?
Did I just not state something? Did I say there's a topic involved?
I don't hear a specific topic, so I'll continue to be very public about my statements.
But that's fine. That's fine.
I
You
think
know,
that
the
was
last
your
thing that you shared out there about taxes and stuff. I'm just done, Keith. I'm done.
Okay, and what are you done with?
your snarky comments on Facebook and social media that really mean nothing. They allude to stuff that doesn't really happen and you have no facts. You don't have your facts straight when you put stuff out there, so I'm done.
Okay.
Any other public comments? Right, shall we go into closed session?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for showing up, everybody.
Have a good day.
And make a motion, we, adjourn to go into concern the case session
You're right, it's a second.
for Iowa Code 21.5J to discuss the bail disposal of county owned properties.
It is.
Sorry,
No,
you're getting away.
I admire it. Thank you. See you.
Okay, I need to post a sign and then I need to start the recording, so give me a moment. And I will be shutting the mic off.
All right, we're in open session. Do I have a motion to proceed?
I make a motion that, on the three county properties that have been discussed in closed session, for the county possible disposal of these properties, and the procedure to follow. We are gonna have the assistant county attorney's the office up there develop a letter to send out to a landowner and to do further investigation on the best way to proceed, and to have our real estate person do some investigating on the past parcels, that were involved with the sale of the old railroad property.
I was second that.
All right, we have first and second, all in favor? Aye.
All right. You get all that, Chris? Okay.
It's recorded.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you,
Thanks.
guys. I know Sean will be here, but.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Full site house.
Do you want
We can't adjourn, we can recess
let's recess until 11.
until
Make
11
a
for
motion to recess until 11.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Got it? All right. I need a motion to go back into session.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
And then we need a motion to go into closed session.
What's the code number?
I'd make a motion, we in this closed session for Iowa Code 21.5J. Discuss strategy with council.
It's 21.5I or
Oh, I see.
1C.
1C.
First, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, let me shut the camera and the microphone off again.
Need a motion to go back into open session?
Until she says, okay. I make a motion, we return to open session.
I'll second.
First, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, for a motion?
I make a motion that, we accept the settlement offer presented to the county from Dave Sharrock with Smith's Law Office, pertaining to case number 624-CV-02028-KEM.
I would second that.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
May I have a roll call?
Yep.
Just for the minutes,
Or
please.
yay.
Curtsy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Anything further? Not motion to adjourn.
Public comments?
You already did those.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, gentlemen.